Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be taking a dive into the Gemini palette from Melt Cosmetics. This is the first product I bought from this company. I was really excited about this color story. And if you want to see how I created this look using the Gemini palette, then keep on watching. So first things first, my foundation probably does not match my body, and my eyebrows, I have no idea what happened with those today. So the Gemini palette, I've actually already used a few times, and I don't know, I just kind of wanted to play around with it a little bit before I went ahead and filmed a look on camera, just to kind of familiarize myself with it a little bit and, you know, not just come onto my channel, play around with something that I don't really know the formula or the quality of the shadows. This was actually my very first purchase from Melt Cosmetics. I've been looking at their shadows online for a long time. I've been following their Instagram for a couple of years. I like their aesthetic. I like the colors of their stacks, their eyeshadow stacks. But for some reason, I just never did it. I don't know, maybe it was like the price point. I don't know what it was. But when I saw the pictures of these shadows on Instagram, I'm like, I have to fucking buy that palette. And so I played with it a few times. I actually really like it. I've created a couple of different looks with it so far, and it's pretty good. And this shade Luna, honestly, is a pretty standard kind of peachy tone transition shade, which for me is great to kind of lay down as a base for your transition before you go ahead and lay down something like a Lorelei or Mochi, just to have a little bit of a more natural type base underneath it. But if you wanted to go ahead and lay one of those brighter, more kind of like gross colors down first, and just use that on its own, you could totally do that too. Or even over top of a white, I think that would work really well too. But honestly, what drew me to this palette is that it is definitely like a vomit and diarrhea color story. It really is. Like, this is like, I think, the ugliest eyeshadow palette I've ever seen in my life. And I saw it and I had to have it. Like, I fucking love the color story. It's so great. Now, I think that I probably could have duped many of these colors with stuff in my collection, but you know, having it all together in one palette like this, I was sold. I had to have it. And like always, I'm not 100% sure what's going to come of this look today. I'm not exactly sure which direction I'm gonna go with it. Your guess is as good as mine. I just really wanted to film with this palette. Blending shadow on my under eye, whether it's a transition or any other kind of shadow this week, has been a little interesting. It feels really weird because for any of you who follow me on Instagram, you already know that I had a bunch of filler done the other day. I had cheek filler, I had under eye filler, I had filler in the lines between my eyebrows that the Botox was just not touching. I've been getting Botox for over a year, and those lines were just like, they were like 2 gash wounds. It was like, I could not get rid of them. And it was like, that was like, you know, as far as like photo editing, as far as like face tuning my photos, like that was like the first area to go every single time. And my under eye hollows were just getting to the point where when I looked in the mirror, I just felt like I was looking at an actual skeleton. Like I could just see like my entire eye socket there, and I wanted to go ahead and plump that out. Of course, I went and did 2 more syringes of lip filler. I've been building them up kind of slowly over the past year. And since October, including the 2 syringes that we did on Thursday, this actually makes 5 syringes of Juvederm Velour in my lips since October. And that's a 2-year filler. They're finally full, they're finally plump, like they finally look fake. Which is totally what I was going for. And I've always had such a big crooked nose that now with the big lips, my nose actually looks a lot smaller. And I actually just think that the size of my lips now are much more proportionate to the rest of my face than my lips were before I started getting any filler done. I'll insert a picture so you can see, like, they weren't proportionate. My face is so big that it's like I actually need bigger features on it to make my face look a regular size. Does that make sense? And this Lorelei color is definitely a really pretty ugly mustard kind of shade, and I really like this one a lot. These shadows blend out really well for me. Maybe I did read on Instagram somewhere where people were having problems with patchiness in these shadows, and I have not experienced that, so. And I definitely already had a few mustard shades that I like. I have one from Vanessa's Vanity that I like a lot, Tangy Dijon, that one's really good. That one might be like a little bit lighter than this one. I feel like this one almost runs a little bit more in that orangey, like a burnt macaroni and cheese kind of color. This is like that kind of shade. And getting the filler in those crevices between my eyebrows, I feel like that's like a total game changer. And something that they don't really tell you about Botox is that for fine lines, yes, but if there's something that's so deep and it's definitely like a crevice in your face, Botox is just not gonna touch that. So it might help to soften it a little bit, but for those super, super deep 11 lines, I feel like nothing is going to fix that the way that filler will. And I feel like I still do want to get a little bit more in this one right here because this one was so deep, but it's so much better than it was. I do have a Botox appointment on Wednesday because now it's like, you know, this line is coming back, so we'll go ahead and smooth that out. Give me my eyebrow lift that I like to get with the Botox. So I feel like once I have my fresh Botox, all of this filler is like settled in, I'm gonna feel nice and baby smooth, and I'm super fucking happy about it. And then on a MAC 221, going into the shade Leo and just kind of darkening the socket a little bit. And this one, have I used this color yet? I don't think I've used this one, and I think somebody said that this one was definitely a little bit patchy for them, so we'll see how that one goes today. I feel like even if this one does go a little bit patchy, I'm gonna go over top of it with like browns and blacks anyway, so that wouldn't really bother me so much. And that one actually may be just a little bit patchy, so I feel like you maybe have to kind of like pack and then like very lightly kind of like stamp out to blend the edges a little bit more than like swiping to blend, because I feel like that kind of helps to keep it a little bit smoother of a blend. And by the time that this video goes live, we might have actually hit the 1,000 subscriber mark on this channel. And so if we have, thank you to all who have subscribed. It was like last week or so, I was like excited because I was like, oh, I finally hit the 900 subscriber mark. And as soon as I had posted about that on my Instagram, I immediately lost 3 subscribers. And then I'm back down to like 897. I'm like, never mind. I lost 3 subscribers on the day that I burped in a video, and I'm like, I mean, that's fine, you know, if you don't want to watch stuff like that, I don't care, but honestly, that's a little bit more of my actual real life personality than what you guys really get to see on my channel. So if you can't deal with somebody burping and farting, then how do you deal with real life problems, you know what I mean? See, I feel like I like what the shadow is doing on this eye better than what it did over here. You know what I mean? It's like, it's kind of dark and it was harder to blend out over here. And over here, it's like super blended. And this is actually what I want the shadow to be doing right now. So I'm not sure what happened between this eye and this eye, but you're having a good day over here and we're having a bad day over here. Although we do have a lot more fallout over on this side than we had on this one. So I have no idea what's going on. I just feel like my head is in a really weird place right now, and I feel like I haven't recorded in like a week and a half, and then trying to like get back into it and get back on it, and then, you know, you're out of practice, and I don't know. Again, my thoughts and my brain, I just feel like it's kind of all over the place right now, so sorry if I'm extra rambly and am talking just kind of in circles. I am really good at talking in circles and never quite landing. Yeah, this blended out super nice and super smooth on this eye the way that I wanted it to. But on this eye, it went on like super, super dark where I placed it and is really hard to blend out. And I'm not sure what that means. Like I definitely, I prepped both eyes the exact same way with the exact same products, and I just have like 2 completely different outcomes here. And so far I've had like 0 issues with this palette as far as like the pigmentation, the blendability, any of that. So go figure, the first time I go to film with it, I'm gonna have problems with it. So yeah, that sounds about right. Staying in that same shade and bringing that underneath the eye. Then on the same 221 that I applied Leo with, I'm gonna go into the shade Cupcake. It's like a nice little chocolatey brown color. Kind of, oh yeah. See, the way that that one is meshing with Leo, it's really helping to like blend and smooth that one out, so. Yeah, see, the fallout on this palette is kind of crazy. There's like so much going on down here. But my cheekbones actually now are up here instead of just like completely flat to my face, so that might be some of it, who knows. And I do want to try out this black shade in the palette. It's called Bonnie. I'm gonna take that on an M507 and just kind of keep it right in the outer corner. And honestly, for me, as far as using a black eyeshadow goes, I kind of only use them for like video and photo purposes, because I feel like in real life, so many colors really do add a lot of depth and a lot of darkness, and you don't necessarily need a black in real life to build that up. But in videos and pictures where you have really bright lights shining on things and kind of like blowing everything out, I think that sometimes you need a black just to put that intensity back in. And yeah, this black actually seems pretty decent, so. And I think what's great about a color story like this is that since it's so grungy and kind of ugly anyway, I think if you do end up with some fallout that kind of like stains around your eyes, like, is that really gonna matter that much anyway? Because it's not like it's pretty, you know what I mean? Like if it's a little bit messy and it kind of looks a little bit gross and a little bit kind of like sloppy, I don't think it's gonna matter because it just kind of goes along with the entire theme of the palette anyway. I think it might kind of add to the effect. And then before I go into the shimmery shades, I'm gonna go in with Coffee by MAC. I got a new one. I'm not using the coffee nub anymore. I actually went and bought a brand new one. I threw away the nub, it is gone. And then for shimmery shades, you know I'm going right over top of a glitter primer. I know that on a lot of channels, they'll kind of show you, this is with the brush, this is with the finger, this is, you know, with dry, this is with wet. And I use a shimmer shade the same way, no matter what the brand, what the formula, what the color. I am going to pop it right over top of a glitter primer because that just makes it pop. It does every single time. And I'm gonna go into Goals, which is the shimmery green, and I am going to apply that with my finger because I think it just really gives it so much intensity. I've actually used Gemini and Goals separately, but I've not yet used them together. So I want to keep the color Gemini just in the center of the lid so I can have green all over and then a pop of gold right in the middle. And I've used the shade Gemini once before, and I actually thought it was very similar to the Copper Sparkle pigment by MAC. I should do a side-by-side comparison just to see how similar they actually are. I don't know. I kind of like that. I think I might prefer the green by itself, but meh, it's fine. So for my inner corners, I'm gonna use Rainbow Ride by Lit Cosmetics, and this one I like because it's kind of green, but it's kind of orange. I mean, I guess you could call it a rainbow, but I see more green and orange than I do anything else, and I think that'll make sense with what I already have going on. Then of course, I'm gonna pop that over top of the NYX glitter primer because I always do. Oh, fuck yeah. I love a glitter inner corner. That makes me really happy. And now that I actually have cheekbones, why don't we go ahead and highlight those with the Glam Gold Highlighter by Posh Pepper Beauty. Which, again, this is my custom shade, and I think this is like probably one of her best sellers. I could totally be pulling that out of my ass, but yeah, so I actually really like the color combination. I like the way that everything kind of came together. I'm gonna get some mascara on really quick, and I'll be right back with the final look. So that's gonna be the end of the video and the first tutorial using the Gemini palette from Melt Cosmetics. I'm a really big fan of this palette. Again, I did have like a little bit of a patchiness issue on this eye, but not on this one. But again, you pile enough shit on, it blends together, it comes together. And I think it turned out pretty rad. So all the usual stuff, like, share, subscribe, comment, questions, concerns, anything you want down below. And I'll see you guys on the next one.